Philadelphia. You know what's weird, gang? And I apologize for being so late to just some draft thoughts here. I'm accidentally writing a book. I probably forgot to tell you about that, and I'm not going to bore you with that today. But what I am going to bore you with is the fact that I just can't shake the feeling this entire month. I've been reading the same articles that you have. I've been probably looking at the same edge rushers that you have as well. I am still with Daniel Jeremiah's theory that the Eagles are basically making an NBA team and they're going to enhance all of their stars. And this is why I don't believe they're picking at 32. There is not a starter at 32 that is going to make this team unless, again, this is not a diss towards the scouting department because they've been awesome. If they want to keep hitting on draft picks, I'm not going to argue with that. I just don't see how they have lined this up with all the picks, with all the stuff that Adam Schefter has basically hinted as no one's – it's not just the Eagles not even considering moving up. The entire league seems like they're going to stay put. Like there is not a package deal at this point that you're going to see in the top three. I think the Giants have been bluffing on Shedeur Sanders for a long time, and no one is biting or taking the action, which means quarterbacks are going to fall – things are going to happen, and the only way that I think that the Eagles are trading back from 32 is just getting an unbelievable offer for 2026. We have talked about Dallas Goedert endlessly thus far this entire offseason. I'm not going to bore you with any more of that. You know what's going on there. There is still some magic for me to be made with Bryce Huff, and I don't know how you do it, but I don't imagine that he's going to be here much longer, and whatever this draft is going to do in the first two rounds, whatever it's going to do is probably going to recalculate that mistake because he traded away Kenny Pickett. That mistake's over. There's been a lot of discussion about, Tanner McKee as QB2. Is he really, though, question mark? And I know you're going to hate this, but I really agree with Joe Giglio. And you should know that I'm going to agree with this take because this basically lines up with 2 QB theory running for now we're going on year almost 5.5. And that started with Jalen Hurts being drafted in the second round while Carson Wentz was here, and none of us expected that to happen. I'm not suggesting for 1 second after this statement that what me and Joe agree on always is that, well, I don't know if he agrees with this, but this is where I always have come from since 2020, and it was from that theory too. I just believe that the NCAA is going to stop producing quarterbacks like we know. That is like, if you look at that timeline right there, you're still getting good QB prospects coming out. Some of them have a lot of starting experience, which is mostly the successful ones so far. Shout out to Mike in the Discord for going back and forth with me the other day with that. But guys like Bo Nix have over 1,000 starts or games played in their career even before they touch an NFL football. Same with like Jalen Hurts. Just so many, I think it was pass attempts thrown as a starter. Maybe that might have been it. But like the more that they played in college, obviously the better you do in the NFL. It's all development. We've believed that you can just like throw in a quarterback into a really good system and things work out. And so I think it's actually important for the Eagles to keep capitalizing on the league's mistakes. I do believe that Tanner McKee will be here. He'll be QB2. But if you're not considering stealing Jalen Milroe with the last pick of the second round, which in my eyes has basically just top third round value, and I think any team would look at it that way, I do consider selecting. That is a spot where I would 1,000% have a skill set similar to Jalen Hurts ready, who's nearly not as talented, not as ready. And honestly, I don't even know if he would be a starter here, but he will be a starter somewhere if you develop him here for a couple of years, just like you did with Tanner McKee. Tanner McKee's value right now went from what? A 7th-round draft pick or 6th-round draft pick to a, whatever you want to define it now, 3rd round, 2nd round? Is he a starter? He looks like one, and I don't think he's going to re-sign here after 2026 anyway. So that is what this draft looks like to me. You can yell at me and you can yell at Joe, and I'm sure you can. You can find me on Twitter and Discord and everywhere else, at John Barchard, pretty much everywhere on social media. I will respond to you at some point. I'm just mostly on the Twitter. There are glaring needs at pass rusher, and pick whatever DB you want to choose. If you don't think like Ringo is going to be the next superstar, then choose a corner. If you're dying over CJ, choose a safety. I see what you see, but that is one or two impact players on a stacked football team, and I feel like you don't believe that yet. Like, this team isn't a super team like they've been telling us it was, and like the Ravens were screaming in the playoffs. Every single one of them go, no, those guys are different. Saquon Barkley made this team completely different, like generationally different. The entire offense went to him because everyone already knew how dominant A.J. Brown was. So a lot of double teams there, which means you got to pick your poison. And when the Chiefs did it, man, did they get a fucking reminder. Like, we didn't just watch a Super Bowl saying whether we run or pass, you can't fuck with us because our offensive line is also one of a generational talent that has a carbon copy of Jordan Mailata currently figuring out if he can play left or right tackle. Like a mini version of him on the roster right now doing the same thing. So I think it's important to look at what you have here now that you've traded Kenny Pickett, and DTR has zero shot of making this football team. None. Zero. We've seen the man play. I loved him in college. He's a Chip Kelly guy, so of course I don't mind him being here. We've had Marcus Mariota, now him. So I really don't have any hard set draft takes, especially when it comes to prospects. I am just going to enjoy what rolls out. I'm especially going to listen to the smart people that have been looking intensely at these guys over and over again. But I'm just being honest with you. I can't get as psyched about the draft as much because none of these guys in this draft are probably going to make the team. And I've heard the arguments all week with, oh, John, how can you say that? Look at these second-round picks. Look at this third-round pick. You even said yourself, they nailed it. Yes, they did those things when the team needed to be better in all of those spots. And they hit on all of those spots, especially with their third, fourth, fifth round. Like, it's an amazing draft. Amazing. The fact that we believe that is going to continue to happen at a lower talent pool and a draft where everybody's way up in the air in terms of actually this guy's more valuable than that guy. I would rather do a bunch of things to crush my opponents and make them feel as confident as the Commanders do right now by signing a bunch of old dudes and saying, we're going for it. We're going for it. This is it. We're going to go beat the Eagles. And they're going to do all that hyping up, all those signings, all those trades. They're going to talk about Jaden Daniels and his massive leap that's coming in his second year and all of this other stuff, which Cliff Kingsbury has never done in his career ever. Ever.com. And we already know what counterpunch is coming from every single team in the league. Saquon can't beat us. I know what the Chiefs did. They're still not going to believe that Jalen Hurts can just throw that thing to anybody on one-on-one coverage, or if you continue to blitz him or confuse him or go through the A-gaps, they are not going to learn their lesson because this is a different Jalen Hurts. And that was, I believe, what everyone was trying to express last year, and it came out in frustration or looked like anger. But I believe I said the same things too. I don't care if you're Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, or the water boy doing push-ups on the sideline. That is Saquon's team last year. No one expected that. And clearly the league did not. So the counterpunch is still going to be stop Saquon. And most teams still can't do that. Even if the Rams took the next 5 years with that defensive line that they shelled out twice this year, they're going to die. You can the same reasons why these people want the tush push out of there, because the Eagles are just too fucking good. All of this is the Eagles are too fucking good, and they still have not developed all of those guys that you are telling me why they need more of them. There is only so much allocation everywhere, and it has been a while since you have developed a quarterback, just to throw back to that point. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years. You've done really well with Tanner McKee. Now I think you should do it with somebody else that the entire league really wants. And listen, if he gets lower and lower and it ends up becoming a third anyway, you're not going to argue with me. You're not going to argue with me because then I'm saying that's comp pick city for one. in the top of the 4th round for 2. So I want you to think like that because I think that's happening. And I am not taking off the fact that Howie Roseman might want to just deliver a few carpet bombs on his way up to whoever. Cleveland, Tennessee, the Giants, the 49ers, the Steelers. I feel like he's going to fight like hell for some veteran player that they've been talking about for a long time. And like I said before, it is put up or shut up with Dallas Goedert right here. This is it. Like if there's no trade here, he's probably here. Probably here. Unless, something happens in August like it usually does. But those are my draft takes. I hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend and Passover if you celebrated. And I've got some more exciting news. And it involves booze, barbecue, you and me, and a whole bunch of friends. More importantly, it's free. So I've been working hard on where we're going to be tailgating, what we're going to be doing, and we've got some pretty awesome people to do that with. I also want to warn you that there's probably another voice or two being added to the show, and I'm excited for you to get to know them, mainly because they're the booze and the barbecue. So it only makes sense to me. But let me know if anything makes sense to you for this draft class, for anything I just said, and I will see you with immediate reactions after the entire weekend. Have some thoughts out on Sunday and certainly coffee in my hand talking to you by Monday morning. I'll see you then. Go Birds.